I don't think Trevor Lawrence is progressing as well. They got rid of Calvin Ridley. I don't really see this team getting better. And give me the Titans. I can't find a reason to take the over anyway. So
Okay. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today on this Top Shelf Tuesday, as we get ready for things strictly for entertainment purposes only, my own consultant with this, team captain for life, Will Cotton. Will, let the games planning begin. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm already ready for NFL season. It's not weeks, we're months away, but I'm ready to go. Let's get it.
All right. So, segment one, we're going to talk about the AFC win total predictions. Segment two, we'll talk about the NFC win total predictions. And in segment three, I hate the off season and I love the off season. So let's get started. The start of the NFL season is more than 5 months away, but the NFL is year round. And the odds makers at BetMGM have released their over under win totals. And again, fans, we are talking about this strictly for entertainment purposes only. I'm trying to get better. Last season, I was 40% overall, and I lost $65 over 17 weeks, and the wife was fine with that. Okay. Will, for the spread, I was 57%. I'm trying to hit 55. That's what any good amateur prognosticator is trying to do. So not bad with the spread. Over-unders, I was 29%. Got to get better. 2 plays, 43%. 3 plays, I was at 57%. And then my upsets, you're not going to admit a lot of those, but I only got 14%. So we're going to go through. And yes, save the show, folks, because we're going to go through, tell you what the projected totals are as of April before the draft, see if you can make a little money early. So, Will, we're going to start with the AFC North. Baltimore, 11.5. Cincinnati, 10.5. Cleveland, 8.5. Pittsburgh, 7.5. Which one of those teams would you pick over, under, take your best shot, and we taking notes?
Man, I like the Ravens over. I like the Steelers over, and like the Browns over. I think of all those teams, they all got a little bit better. I think the Browns have a good team together. I think the Bengals, no, not the Bengals. I'm sorry, the Steelers got better. Obviously, they won 10 games last year, and they didn't have a quarterback. Now they got 2 of them that they can actually throw it there and get some at least 10, at least 7.5 wins. Obviously, Ravens. I mean, shoot. They won 13 games last year. I can't see them going under, especially with King Henry. So of the 3, Ravens, Steelers, Browns will hit the over, Bengals under.
All right. AFC South. Houston, 9.5. I think they might change that. Indianapolis, 8.5. Jacksonville, 8.5. Tennessee, 6.5. What are you thinking about the AFC South?
AFC House, man, I got Texans over. You know, they got Mixon, they got Diggs. Diggs is looking for a contract. I would definitely love to play in Houston over in Buffalo. No disrespect to anybody, but I think he's going to play in a little better. The Colts, I think the Colts are going to hit under. It depends on the injury and the health of Taylor and Richardson, obviously the quarterback and the running back. But if they'd be consistent, they had a top 10 OL. So, I mean, they could, but I'm going to say that under 8 wins. I don't think they're ready yet. Under Jags under. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is progressing as well. They got rid of Calvin Ridley. I don't really see this team getting better. And give me the Titans. I can't find a reason to take the over anyway. So.
Okay. All right. AFC East, Buffalo, 10.5. They may switch that. Dolphins, 9.5. New England, 5.5. Jets, 9.5. Will I get suckered into that again? What are you thinking about the AFC East?
I think the Bills are a bad organization disguised as a good organization. I don't think they're good. Give me the under on them. I don't know how you get rid of all this talent and all of a sudden think they're going to get better. Dolphins, I think they do just enough to get 10 games this year. It depends on where it all lands. If they play a game in Buffalo early in the season, it'll be in their favor. But I'll give them over. The Jets. It doesn't sound like the organization is really aligned right now. It seems like the coach and the owner are kind of going back and forth in terms of philosophies, which could cause a lot of issues in the locker room or especially on the field. I think I would say hit the under just because it's the Jets. And obviously the Patriots, you already know, don't look for nothing over for the Patriots.
Okay. And finally, this segment, AFC West. Denver Broncos 5.5. What's up, Akil? Kansas City Chiefs 11.5. Las Vegas Raiders, Sean Sears 6.5, and the Los Angeles Chargers 8.5. Am I going to get suckered on the Chargers again? What are you thinking about the AFC West?
It's hard. If you look at their schedule, they can get 9 games. They can get 9 games easily. I would take the over because their schedule is pretty easy, but they lost a lot of talent. The Raiders, they can steal a couple ones. I like it. Maybe they could get the over. Kansas City, easily, I don't see them winning. Look at their schedule. I see them winning 14 wins, and we're getting 11.5. So I'll take the over. And Broncos, man, give me the under because I don't like Sean Payton, and I ain't betting on Sean Payton.
All right. So when we get back, fans, we're going to do the NFC, and our prognosticator will tell you his thoughts on the NFC. We're right back on the Our Coaches Podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete academic and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Our Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, again, strictly for entertainment purposes only, we have Will Cotton, the person I actually will call, so you get what I'm getting. So we're going to jump into the NFC, starting with the NFC North. Chicago Bears, 8.5. 8.5. Detroit Lions, 10.5. Green Bay Packers, 9.5. Minnesota Vikings, 6.5. What are you thinking, Cotton, man?
Man, give me the under on the Bears. I don't really think they're going to do anything. They'll get some softballs and some wins, but I don't think they get it over, what'd you say, 8.5? No way.
8.5.
10.5 on the Lion. They can get 11 games and still lose to the Packers. So I'm going to take the over on the Lions. The Raiders, no, not the Raiders, I'm sorry. And the Packers, I want to believe them. I love the team. Take the over on the Packers. Take the youth. Take it, man. And then Vikings, poor Justin Jefferson. Give me the under. They ain't got nothing. They probably won't have him much longer after this season, too. But give me the under on the Vikings. Bums.
All right. And speaking of bums, NFC South, Atlanta Falcons, 9.5. Carolina, 4.5. New Orleans, 7.5. Tampa Bay, 7.5. Hey, good luck. What do you think?
I'm telling you. So Falcons, I think they hit right under. They hit 9, and that's it. I don't think Atlanta is Kirk Cousins away from being playoff contenders. I think they're still not that good there. They'll see the cracks as they go. We'll go with the Panthers under, unless there's any other further reason to go. Under is under. Is Derek Carr still there? He is. Give me the under on the Saints. I'm sorry. Baker will turn back into a pumpkin this year, but he plays enough and they get enough to get over 7.5. Some of the over on Tampa for sure.
All right. NFC East, Dallas. Will they suck us in again? 10.5. Giants, 6.5. What's up, King? Philadelphia Eagles, 10.5. And the Washington Commanders, 6.5. What are you thinking about the NFC East?
Oh, man, I still think the Cowboys are going to win the division. I think the winning under is 10.5. I think they win 10, but I think they have something going on in the locker room right now, but I think they can overcome it. Same Giants, look, under the 4 to 5 wins, give me the under. Terrible organization right now. I don't really know what they're doing. They let Saquon go. They still have Daniel Jones, which seems like the opposite, but it is what it is for me. The Eagles, there's something going on. I'll take the under, but it'll be 9. It won't be anything bad. They have something going on in their locker room. They lost 2 really good leaders in the locker room, and the biggest thing that they were struggling with is what during the season? Leadership. I don't know how you get better, but subtraction by addition. Commanders have an interesting season. I'll take the over slightly. Maybe they get 7 wins. But the new energy and the dysfunction in the Philly and Dallas and probably even New York will kind of benefit for them. So give me the over on the Commanders with 7.
Me in
right
too.
there.
They're gonna suck me into. All right, finally an NFC West. Cardinals 6.5, Rams 8.5, San Francisco Shackaroo 11.5, and the Seattle Seahawks 7.5. What are you thinking about the NFC West?
It's hard that you can't push because I think both the Rams and the Hawks are going to get 8 wins, which puts them under. I think the Cards easy under, not even have to think about it, and I think that San Fran is just going over. I mean, I don't see any reason to beat them unless without injury, but I think they hit that 11.5 around like 12, 13. If they hit like 14, 15, then they're really, really going to look like they're going to win the Super Bowl for sure.
All right, so fans, when we get back, another round of I hate the off season and I love the off season. Can't y'all drive right? We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fowler Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast in segment 3. I hate and love the all season. Here's why I hate it. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice said via social media that he met with Dallas police last week and he takes full responsibility in the crash that injured 4 people last week. Texas law is different though, Will. Given that West, his attorney, said that he admitted driving the car, his first problem flows that Texas law has laws against street racing, and this street race caused a 6-car crash. He also left the scene, which is another set of charges, and it was reported by the Dallas Morning News that less than an ounce of marijuana may have been found in the car. The NFL has punishments as well. Beyond the specifics of any prosecution, the first offense DUI is a 2-game suspension, and felony charges from the street racing could result in a stiffer penalty. Will, talk to me about what should we do with Mr. Rice?
Fortunately, he's going to be an example. He's going to be someone who's going to be cut. He's not a guy that I think you have to keep. He's not a guy that's a phenomenal talent. He's not a miss. You can't miss, his athleticism. Good player, but if they can't trust him to just, stay in the legal limits of driving, it's hard for me to keep that team. It's hard for me to keep that player and trust him. Again, now this is different. Kansas City is a different city than DC. Our laws are different, things like that. People are.
And he was in Texas, which is even more different.
Yeah, even more different. So, but still, Kansas City, if you're from Kansas City, you will think of things a little different and make decisions based on whatever. But again, coach, just like you said, man, too much off season, too much time, too much money. You got to figure out something to do with your time, man. I hope the best for him. I hope if the justice, I hope the justice system as well as the NFL is fair and they give him a fair um, a penalty. But I hope he can learn from this. Nobody died, which is great. I think we all remember that with Henry Ruggs. And I think they should really emphasize this on the street racing and they're really like, hey guys, like, hey, you guys are coming from South Carolina. You grew up in Mississippi. You grew up in North Carolina. You grew up in this place. You've never driven a car that goes 200 miles per hour. So I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and I think there's a lot of um, uh, just, I guess, learning. Then hopefully, it hands itself. So,
All
but
right.
bad news on him. So I wouldn't, don't look for him to play this year. To be
Well,
honest.
I love the offseason because you see the roster construction. So the Houston Texans, they're trying to win right now. They got CJ Stroud on a rookie contract, and they added Joe Mixon, and they also added Stephon Diggs. But Diggs is 30. Should we be paused by that? But I like the fact that they did something. Go, Houston. Will, what do you think about Houston doing something?
I love it. I love it. You have a young quarterback. I mean, the best thing to do is give him some weapons. They have a really good offensive line, so they didn't really have to add too much. But to add a skill set of Diggs, who is his route running is amazing, probably top one, top three in the league. And Mixon, I mean, the guy's not old. He's like what 26, 27. He's not 29. I know that. So he has some gas and then some left miles left on that leg. So great, man. And you love, as a quarterback, you love to see when the organization is investing in your success. You can only get better if you get better talent, better teammates, and things like that, different systems and schemes. So yeah, I'm excited. If I lived in Houston, I'm a big Texans fan. I'd be very excited.
Okay. And finally, back to Kansas City. Carson Wentz is on his fifth team in 5 seasons. He has now formally made the transition from starter to backup. He has a greater understanding of his self-worth in the marketplace. And look for Carson Wentz over the next 8 to 9 seasons to collect a lot of checks. And I always like the fact that he has accepted his time is now a backup, and he is grateful for every opportunity. And if he's on a sideline wearing a hat, he's good with that. There's a lot of guys who have not been good with wearing that hat on the sidelines. So Carson Wentz, kudos to you for knowing that it's not a bad gig being Patrick Mahomes' backup. So,
Right.
Will,
There you
what do
go.
you think about Carson Wentz saying, you know what? I think I'm good.
I think the backup quarterback position is changing. I think we have guys like Sam Howell. I think we have guys. There's a couple guys who are getting paid just to be backups. I mean, look at obviously we have Carson Wentz right now. Look at Sam Howell. Look at what's his name, Mariota getting paid. There was other guy that I was thinking of. Man, I
Sam
forget his
Darnold.
name. Sam Darnold. Yeah, he's right there too. There's money into that. And I think that's because they're extending the NFL season. And they're like, look, hey, we know there's a chance that our quarterback could go down maybe 1 or 2, 3 games. And we need a capable fan
And
base
he
to go
knows
and
the
manage
Philly
it.
Kansas City system because he's
Exactly.
played under the coaching tree. So I
Exactly.
love it. I love it.
Yep. So it's just starting. We're going to start seeing that the backup are going to be actual names. And that's why I think like Jameis Winston will always have a job. I think Derek Carr will always have a job. And we'll see those guys for the next 5, 6, 7 years because the NFL knows that, hey, I got to get a capable backup. I can't just get nobody. I can't get, just Sally Joe, whoever it is. I need a real guy who can hold off these 3, 4 games and if maybe even take me to the playoffs or take me to the Super Bowl. I
Yeah.
mean, even Brock Purdy. I mean, guys that you would never believe you bring in lead your team. So I think it's the NFL kind of understanding that, which gives kind of longevity to a lot of quarterbacks who may have faltered and, fell on their face and they're able to find a second career being his backup. So get the bag, man, whatever it is.
The
But get
bag.
the bag. Yeah.
Great way to end that, man. So on behalf of Team Captain for Life, Will Cotton, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.